Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will look at zero array transformation 1 problem, which is from Leetcode number 3355. A prerequisite before watching this is to learn difference array, which helps you do range update in an array in just order of one time. So I have explained it in detail and the link will be present in the description below, so please watch it before solving this problem. Now in this case you are given an integer array nums of length n and a 2D array queries. Queries at I will be ranging from Li to Ri. For each queries I, select a subset of indices within the range of Li to Ri in nums and decrement the values at the selected indices by 1. A zero array is an array where all the elements are equals to 0. Return true if it is possible to transform nums into a zero array after processing all the queries sequentially, otherwise you return false. Okay. Now let's look at the examples. In this case, we are given an array 101 and the query is 0, 2. That means we just have one query, so we can select any set of items from index 0 to index 2 and we can decrement any of these values. Now let's say that I selected to decrement this 0th index to 0 and this second index to 0, because you can only decrement by one value at a time. So after doing all the queries, since we just had one query, is our array converted to a zero array? That means are all the elements 0? So that is true, and that is why we will be returning true here. Okay. Now let's say your example had 102 and you had the same query as 0 to 2. You can decrement. So you will choose to decrement this 1 to 0 and this 2 will only be decremented to 1. This 0 will remain as 0. So in this case, all the elements have not been decreased to 0, and that is why we will return false for this example and 0, 2 query, right? So you should remember that we can only choose from the given range in the given query. If you look at the second example, we have 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the query is saying the first query is 1, 3. So if you look at the indices from 1 to 3, I can decrease the value by 1. So this can become 2, this can become 1, and this can become 0. Okay, 4 will remain as 4. Now if you serve the second query from 0 to 2, then you can decrease this to 3, you can decrease this to 1, and this will become 0, right? And this 0 will remain as it is. So in this case, after serving all the queries, your array elements have not become 0, and therefore we need to return false. Okay. Now let's say that your array was 102 and these are the indices 0, 1, 2, and we were given the the index from 1 to 2. This is the first query, query number 1, and the query number 2 is coming from 0 to 1. So what is the meaning of this? If you go from 1 to 2, you can actually decrement all the values. Instead of choosing to decrement and choosing to avoid certain value, what we can do is we can decrement all the values. So we can decrement this 0 to -1, this 2 to 1, without thinking about which one to pick. I will be decrementing everybody in the given range from 1 to 2. Whatever array I get, I will be serving the second query from 0 to 1, and I will be decrementing everybody from 0 to 1. And so you will get 0, -2 and 1, right? So after this, if all the values are less than equals to 0, then it will always be possible to make a zero array. Otherwise it will not be possible. If I had another query Q3 ranging from, let's say, 1 to 2 again, then you could have converted this to 0, -3 and 0. So in this case, you see all the array items AI is always less than equals to 0. That means this array, initial array 102, can be converted to a zero array given these three queries. Okay, so we can actually avoid the selection process altogether. If we just decrement all the values in the given range, then I have to just think that after processing all the queries, any element array at I should always be less than equals to 0. This is one way to solve it. Another way to solve is you can start with all zeros. Take the size as the initial array size. So the initial array size is 3. Start with all the zeros. Perform the queries and increment in this given range. So if you see the range 1 to 2, increment in this range. So this becomes 1 and this becomes 0. Again, you perform the second query 0 to 1 and increment in this range. So this becomes 1, this becomes 2, and this remains to be 1. Again, you see the third query, increment in this given range. So this becomes 3, this becomes 2, and this becomes 1. Okay, so this is the final array that you can get from 0, starting from all zeros of the same size as the array size. Now we have to compare this array 132 with the initial array 102. And if all the elements in this transformed array, okay, all the elements in the transformed array, any ti is always greater than equals to ai, then you can say that it is always possible to reduce this array to a zero array. Okay, and this is the technique that we will try to follow. So I hope the ideas are clear. There are multiple ways in which you can solve it. If you look at the constraint, you have total items as only 10 to the power of 5. That means if you write n square algorithm, that will be 10 to the power 10 greater than 10 to the power 8. So this will give you TLE, because this is a standard for 1 second, right? We should write an algorithm less than 10 to the power of 8. So an n log n algorithm will definitely pass, and even an order of n algorithm will pass. So let's see. In this case, the number of queries are 10 to the power of 5. So if you write a qn algorithm, then it will also be 10 to the power of 10, 10 to the power 5 times 10 to the power 5. So this will also give you TLE. So you should write an algorithm q plus n log n, something like that, or order of q plus n. This is what is expected for this problem. Now let's look at an idea which will help us solve the problem. So I have already told about this idea. We will be taking an array of 5 size, and I am taking 4 number of queries. So I will be taking a transform array which will be starting with all zeros, which will be of the same size as the initial array, and I will try to increment in all the ranges of the given queries on the transform array. Let's see. So in 0 to 2 range, I will be trying to increment the value. So let me mark the indices. In 0 to 2, I will increment the values. You see the incremented values are given. Okay. Now, if I apply query 2 on the result of query 1, then from 1 to 3, I will be applying all the operations. So this becomes 2 to 1. Now on this result, if I apply from 0 to 4, okay, 0 to 4. So 0 to 4, if I apply, then the values will become 2, 3, 3, 2, and this will be 1 here, okay, because this is index number 4. So this will become 1, right? And if I apply query number 4 from 4 to 4 on this case, so 4 index is this one, 4 to 4, so this becomes 2 here, right? So this is the final transform array that I get starting from all the zeros. You get 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Okay. Now I need to compare all the TIs with the AIs, and we should always maintain that TI should always be greater than equals to AI. So if you look here, 2 is greater than equals to 1, 3 is greater than equals to 0, 3 is greater than equals to 2, 2 is greater than equals to 1, and this 2 is greater than equals to 2. This means that since I can reach from all zeros to an array where each of the corresponding items are greater than equals to the array A, that means if I apply the reverse operation, that means decrement operation on the initial array, then we will always be able to reach to the zero array. That is the idea. Okay. So if you apply this simple approach, then for every query, the query size can be from 0 to n minus 1. All the queries can go in this range. So the time complexity here will be q times n, and the space complexity will be order of n, because I am taking an extra space called the transform array, right? So this will give you TLE for sure. This is not something that I want to solve with. In order to do this range update in the range of L to R with a given value, whether you want to increment the value or you want to decrement the value, if you want to do range update in the range of L to R on a given array, then you should use a difference array, because the difference array will do range update in order of 1 time instead of taking order of n time, whatever is the range. So let me show you a dry run using the difference array for the same technique. So I'll be taking the exact same example. The difference array size will be 1 more than the given array size. This is a dummy entry, as I had explained in my previous difference array video, and I will be processing all the queries. Okay. Now I will be using the increase query of the difference array in the range of I to j. I will try to increase the given value. So this will mean that at the ith index we will be adding the value val, and at j plus 1th index I will be decrementing the value val. So this is basically the initial difference array, which is all 0. Let's process query number 1. So it is saying increment in the range of 0 to 2. That means increment at 0, and we know that we have to always increment by value 1 because we had to decrement by value 1. So this will be incremented by 1, and at 2 plus 1, that means at 3, we have to decrement by a value 1. Rest all values will remain unchanged. So our first query has been solved in order of 1 time. Second query, 1 to 3, increment by 1. So this is index 1, 2, 3. This is index 3. So 1 to 3 increment by 1. That means at 1 you add 1 value, and at 3 plus 1 you decrement by 1 value, and all the other rest of the values will remain the same. Okay. Now it is saying about increment in the range of 0 to 4. So this is 0 and this is 4. So if you want to increment in 0 to 4, increment at 0, this becomes 2, and decrement at 4 plus 1, so this becomes minus 1. And rest all values will remain the same. Okay, rest all values will remain the same. Now for the last one, increment in 4 to 4. So that means increment at 4, so this becomes 0, and decrement at 4 plus 1, so this becomes minus 2. And rest all values will remain unaffected. So all the range updates were done in order of 1 time, right? So the final difference array that you get here, final difference array is 2, 1, 0, minus 1, 0, minus 2. Now I can easily get the actual array. If you had started with all the zeros, then what would be the actual array after performing all these operations? It will be 2. You just find the cumulative frequency moving left to right. 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 0, 3, 3 plus minus 1 will be 2, 2 plus 0 will be 2, 2 plus minus 2 will be 0. This is a dummy value. You should ignore it. It is an extra entry. So if you look at it, if we had started with all the zeros, then applying the given number of queries, increment queries, I would have reached to 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. That is where I would have reached. If you look at the previous example, I would have reached to 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. It is the same thing, right? 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Now you have to compare it element by element with the initial array, the same technique, and you can say that all the difference at I must be greater than equals to the array at I. It should hold for all the indices in the given range from 0 to n minus 1, and if this holds, then we return true. Otherwise, even if one element do not follow this, then we need to return false. I hope this idea is clear. Now in this case, each of the query took just order of 1 time. So q number of updates will take q time, and after that the comparison takes order of n time. So the total time complexity is q plus n, and the space complexity is order of n due to the extra difference array that we had taken, right? So I hope this idea is clear. Let's now look at the code. If you are someone who is looking to prepare for top product based company within a limited time of just 3 months, then we have brought for you both the DSA and the system design live interview training program. The most important feature of this program is you get a filtered and condensed structured curriculum, in-depth discussion of all the topics, and my guarantee of your understanding, one-on-one guidance with me, and live weekend classes. To know more about the training, you can WhatsApp us on this given number. In this problem, we are given the nums array and the given queries. So I am finding the nums.size, and the difference array of size n plus 1 will be taken with all the initial values to be 0. I will be going one query after another and take out the start and the end of the query, and just increment at the start and decrement at end plus 1. This is the standard range update using the difference array, which I had explained in the difference array video. Now initial sum will be starting with 0, and we are trying to find the cumulative sum moving from left to right and comparing the given value with the nums at I, which is the array at I in our given example. If at any point the difference array at I, which is represented as sum in this case, is actually less than the array at I, which is in the actual array, that means the zero array transformation will not be possible and you return false. Otherwise, if the condition difference array at I greater than equals to array at I holds true for all the indices, then we need to return true. This is the entire approach, and I hope it is clear. If you still have any doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. See you guys in the next video. Thank you.